Every time you see one of those huge business headlines, a massive merger, a surprise acquisition, there's this small, incredibly powerful team working deep behind the scenes. They're kind of the architects of the corporate world. So today, we're going to crack the code on this secret force, corporate development.
I mean, think about it. When some tech giant drops billions of dollars on a startup, who is it that actually makes that deal happen? We see the CEOs shaking hands for the cameras, sure, but who are the people spending months or even years finding the right company, crunching the numbers, and hammering out a deal that's worth more than a small country's GDP?
Well, it's time to pull back the curtain. The people pulling the strings belong to a function called corporate development. You can think of them as the professional dealmakers working inside the world's biggest companies.
Now let's look at this definition, because the key word here is external. This isn't about a company slowly building something new from the ground up, no. This is about growth on the fast track. Corporate development is the team that goes out into the world to buy, partner with, or invest in the future of the company. It's like a strategic shortcut.
Yep, that's really the heart of it. They are the company's master dealmakers. If a company is making a big move that involves another business, whether it's buying, selling, or partnering, you can bet the corp dev team is the one running the entire show. They're kind of like a company's own private investment bank.
And this table here, it just perfectly lays out where they fit in the puzzle. So you've got corporate strategy asking the big question, where are we going? Then you have the finance team, and they're providing the guardrails, asking, can we actually afford to go there? And then you have corporate development. They're the ones who actually execute the move. They answer the how. How do we actually do this deal?
But here's the thing. All that power to reshape a company, it's a total double-edged sword. When it goes right, it can create enormous value. But when it goes wrong, it can be an absolute catastrophe. So which one is it? Are they creators or are they destroyers?
Okay, so on the bright side, when it works, corp dev is an incredible engine for value. A single smart acquisition can launch a company into a brand new market, putting them years ahead of the competition. Merging two companies can unlock huge savings. And in the tech world, it's often the only way to get your hands on game-changing technology and the brilliant minds who created it, literally overnight.
But then there's the dark side. So many deals fail. And one of the biggest reasons is just overpaying. A bidding war starts, egos get involved, and suddenly you've paid way too much. It gets worse, though. A deal without a clear strategy is just an expensive distraction. And even if you get all that right, if you mess up the integration, the really hard work of combining two different company cultures, you can destroy the very thing you just bought.
So, with the stakes being this high, how do they actually do it? What does it look like when a deal goes from an idea to a signed contract? Let's open up the playbook and take a look.
It really boils down to four main stages. First, you got to find the deal. That means constantly scanning the market for companies that fit your strategy. Second, you have to vet the deal. This is the due diligence phase, where you kick the tires and make absolutely sure everything checks out. Third, you make the deal. This is the intense back-and-forth negotiation. And finally, and this is the step everyone forgets, you have to realize the value. A deal isn't really done when the papers are signed. It's done when the two companies are successfully integrated and those promised benefits actually show up.
Now, when most of us hear corporate development, we pretty much just think of mergers and acquisitions, right? Buying companies. But that's like saying a master chef only knows how to boil water. The reality is they have a whole toolkit they can use.
See, their job isn't just about getting bigger, it's about getting better and more focused. Sometimes that means selling off parts of the business that just don't fit anymore. Or maybe it's teaming up with another company in a joint venture to tackle a huge project. It could even be something as small as taking a minority stake in a startup just to keep an eye on some cool new tech. And all of this, it really points to a fundamental shift in thinking. The best people in this field, they don't see one giant company. No, they see what this quote says, a portfolio of different businesses.
And that is the absolute key takeaway. The real job is to be a portfolio manager. Think about it. Just like a fund manager is constantly buying and selling stocks to get the best return, the corp dev team is constantly looking at their company's assets, deciding what to grow, what to sell, and what to add, all to maximize the company's value in the long run.
So now that you're in on the secret, think about your favorite company. I don't care if it's a tech giant, a car maker, whatever. Right now, somewhere in that company, its master deal makers are looking at their portfolio and asking themselves, what's our next big move? So what do you think it is?